All right, big announcement tonight. Just like Disney and Hulu forming one consolidated app, we're going to go ahead and combine both Cinefanatics and twitch.tv/Chris Adams MLP.
Nope.
That sounds like a good idea to me.
Nope.
I mean, come on, y'all. Let's knock out two birds, one stone. What's going on, y'all? We are the Cinefanatics. My name is Robert Adams.
And my name is Leave My Stone Alone, Chris Adams.
Welcome to the Tagline, the show where the tagline is the title. We're going to talk about movies and stuff and all kinds of fun things and whatnot. So
Mostly just movies.
Mostly just movies. But, I mean, you know, who knows what happens.
Every now and then some stuff seeps in, but it's usually just movies.
It's usually just movie-related material and stuff like that. Yeah, so y'all know how this is. We're on YouTube. Thank you for watching if you're watching live. Thank you for watching if you're watching on a replay. But let's get the YouTube things out of the way. You know streamlabs.com/cinefanatics, right? Y'all are aware of this? It's a website that exists. That's your place to go if you have any questions, comments, issues, complaints. Make sure you let us know at that website. It will be right in front of our faces almost immediately. So,
admittedly, I know y'all like to use the chat, but you can, just as a reminder, you can also use streamlabs.com/cinefanatics for literally anything.
I mean, that website exists, so
it's there.
Another website that exists, patreon.com/cinefanatics. I know some of y'all make good use of that website, and we very much appreciate that. But if you feel like that we are worthy of you making use of that website for our benefit as well, feel free, if you have the monetary means, hop on the tier that is good for you. Coming up next week after Tagline, May 17th, we will be doing our Patreon watch-along. And thank you, Garth, right in the middle of me talking. We will be doing our Patreon watch-along. If you're at the $5 due tier, you could come join us after Tagline next week. The week after that, on the 24th, after the Tagline, we will be doing our trivia hangout, so come join us on there if you're at the Maverick tier. Let's talk about our hair for a second. We both got a new haircut, and I don't like how mine was cut. It looks like I got a Hershey Kiss stuck on my head. So, yes, it does look like I got a whole can of Crisco to get my hair higher. It's how I have to live. I can't put the hair back. So,
mine looks great.
You know, okay, here's going to be one of those, like, fancy, like, aside from talking about movies thing, you go and get your hair cut, like, at a very general, like, Great Clips, Cost Cutter, Super Cuts, just a very general corporate.
Literally Great Clips, yeah.
And I go to a place that I spend a decent amount on my hair because, for the most part, they are usually really good at getting my hair the way I want it.
I had a $7.99 coupon.
I pay $30. Anyways,
taking the W over here.
So, yeah, usually they cut my hair. I do like I'm narrowing down the list of the couple of people who cut my hair at the place I go to, and this guy just got put on the list of will never touch this head ever again. So
I get my hair cut by a new person every single time.
And it always turns out exactly as you want it.
Usually takes less than 20 minutes.
Good Lord. Anyways, welcome to the Hair Fanatics, where we are talking about our hair tonight. Anyways, upcoming shows. We do have, towards the end of this month, Friday, May 26th, we will be doing the marquee. We will be talking about tier ranking live-action Disney remakes. So make sure you check that out. We're going to be talking about movies watched here in a little bit, but I just did Lady and the Tramp the other night. I still have to do Peter Pan and Wendy and, of course, Little Mermaid when it comes out. But, yeah, I will have that list. I think we are final on that list now for sure, right?
Yes.
Okay, I will have that up on Discord after we are done streaming. So if you are a part of our Patreon and you have access to the Cinefanatics Discord, it will be up on the marquee channel on the Discord right after we're done tonight. So that way you can also watch those movies and rank them yourself as well. So yeah, aka something has to go in S tier.
Listen, I actually have a couple of them that could.
I think this one's going to be funny is usually we get ridiculed by like what we are choosing to put in F tier or, D, C, whatever. This is going to be the first time we're going to get ridiculed. Like, really? You're going to put that in S? Usually almost everything that we choose to put in S, I feel like generally most people agree with.
They
like
put the 2019 Lion King in S tier? What in the world?
Yeah. Like the last one we did was the movie themes. Like without question, the easiest, the highest ranking one was the Star Wars theme by John Williams. That is a theme everyone would put in S tier. So no one's questioning us on that. This is going to be one. Yeah. People are going to be questioning why movies are going in S tier. So this will be a little bit different for us. Should be a lot of fun. So that is coming up Friday, May 26th. Go watch Little Mermaid in theaters and then come join us for that. Anyways, movies watched over this past week. Like I said, I watched Lady and the Tramp. I'll give you my thoughts on that as we get during the marquee, or you could just hop on my Letterboxd and see what I'm actually rating it right there. I also watched the movie The Collector, which was kind of like a proto Saw. Like it was a movie that was supposed to be like a side. What are they called? When you make a spinoff. It was supposed to be a spinoff of the Saw movies and was supposed to be like an origin for Jigsaw, but they decided not to do that and they just reworked it into its own movie. And it definitely feels like it's got some Saw flavor in there. But
I feel like an origin for the main villain of the franchise shouldn't be a spinoff. It should just be a prequel.
Well, it's not even that. That is actually what the franchise ended up becoming. The entire Saw franchise is basically the origin of Jigsaw. So yeah, it was a little weird, but yeah. That was all the new movies I caught up with this past week. What did you watch, Chris?
I watched Cinderella and Maleficent for the first time, both of those of which I will give some thoughts on. Live action Disney movies. You might not guess what my thoughts actually are on both of those films. You might be surprised. You should you should tune into our marquee on the 26th to find out. Or also, like he said, you could probably just find them on my Letterboxd. The other big one I watched was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It's a little movie that came out this last weekend. I don't know if you guys have heard of it or not. It's one of those silly little Marvel Studios indie projects. It's good movie. I like movie. It's good movie.
So we've made references to this before, but I always love it because it's really funny and it's a great way of talking about critiquing movies. That movie, The Ringer, with Johnny Knoxville. So he's basically playing in the Special Olympics. He makes friends with the other competitors in the Special Olympics, and one of them, the guy's all like, "I'm a movie critic. Ask me about my opinion about any movie," and they're like, "Oh, Jaws. It's a good movie."
That's a good movie.
And that's like completely the only like critiquing he does. And I was like, that's what I aspire to be in my life. I want to do that. How's that movie Evil Dead Rise? That's a good movie.
Right. Anyway, we got a review for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 up on the channel. So if you guys haven't checked that out yet, you should what are you doing? Go check that out. It's spoiler free. Go check it out.
You also dropped your ranking of the 3 Guardians movies yesterday, and it's doing fairly well.
I dropped it, and y'all should pick it up.
Yeah. So yeah, I did mine a week ago because I saw the movie a week earlier, and I needed to put out some kind of content to capitalize on the fact I saw it. So I did a YouTube short of ranking the 3 Guardians movies. Chris dropped his yesterday, so that is out. Both of them are available to go watch, and we have differing opinions. So
listen,
go watch them both.
They doing numbers.
Yeah,
they're doing numbers over here. So be one of those numbers.
Mine's like a minute long, and his is like 45 seconds. If you have a minute 45 in your day, go watch those. Let us know your thoughts because we want to continue doing those. That was fun. It was short, quick, easy. Look, and I enjoyed it. So
we already know you're spending that time watching some random TikTok compilations of people you don't know or care about. So you should just, instead of doing that, you should just watch our 2 YouTube shorts
that are done by people that you know and care about.
There you go.
Jesse, we have not talked about Johnny Cage yet. That will be coming up here in just a little bit.
My dear boy, this show has just started.
Yeah.
You've tuned in at the right time.
We got Kevin Davis is dropping all these box office totals. I'm curious, is this like, is this like prediction? Are you thinking worldwide? Because these are like a lot of these are pretty good for worldwide.
I would assume those are worldwide. They've got to be at those numbers.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 total 700 to 800 million. That's a worldwide total right there.
Yeah, I mean, some of these I actually feel like they're pretty believable. So I think you're actually probably on a right track there.
Yeah, scrolling through what he said real quick. I do think Indiana Jones does pass $1 billion. Little Mermaid potentially, if people like it, it could easily hit $1 billion.
If the movie equals what the early screening critics have said, then yes.
If Flash matches what early critics are saying and gets good word of mouth, it can hit that $1 billion mark too.
That one I'm still also a little bit leery about just because of how many people are just not wanting to watch it because of Ezra Miller. That's definitely a factor.
General audiences don't know who Ezra Miller is.
We'll see. I'm willing to bet we're going to be able to tell like its opening weekend. We're going to be able to look at it and go like, yep, that was definitely because of Ezra Miller.
I feel pretty safe saying that it's not going to affect that movie in any real significant way.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm curious. Because Marvel's also watching that for whatever action they may be doing with Jonathan Majors. So
also they're watching, what the law does with Jonathan Majors.
That too.
Because that might also just force their hand.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get into some movie news.
Yay! Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. This is what's happening in your world tonight.
We apologize for the interruption.
Back to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of your box office, it has finally happened. After 4 weeks at being at number 1, now in its 5th week in the theaters, Super Mario Brothers has finally been dethroned and has been bumped down to number 2. Can we guess what's done it? Preface this by saying it's going to be a real shocker. You're going to be completely surprised.
Evil Dead Rise.
No, it's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Good job, you got it.
I was waiting for you to be like, that's right, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, that little indie project I mentioned earlier that Marvel has been working on. It did numbers also. We're looking at a domestic gross this weekend of $118 million opening, which admittedly I believe is lower than previous Guardians movies. However, this one's getting some solid word of mouth, a little bit better word of mouth than a couple previous MCU entries have been getting. So I would very much expect this one to be the most successful MCU movie that we've gotten probably since No Way Home.
Or yeah.
I don't know. Maybe since Shang-Chi. I don't know where Shang-Chi ended up in its total, but I would say probably since No Way Home. I expect this one to do very, very well. So we'll be watching this one's career with great interest. Star Wars reference. It still may get with it, people. All right. Like I said, number 2 is Super Mario Brothers movie. It is making another $18.5 million. Still doing really good. Finally hitting over 50% drop off from the week before. So I think we're finally seeing the Super Mario Brothers movie running its course. Everyone's seen it. Everyone who's going to see it has seen it. Everyone who's going to see it twice has seen it twice. It's probably donezo, and I would not doubt it hitting something like a Peacock or something here pretty soon, since it's done by Illumination, aka also Universal Studios.
Let's see, because Evil Dead Rise is available for on-demand viewing at home now.
Which is crazy because that movie's number 3.
Yeah. It does not look like Super Mario is yet.
I'm sure there's a whole nother thing they got to work out with Nintendo about where.
4 minutes ago, it was announced when it would be on premium video on demand May 16th. So in 6 days.
Next week. Very much happening home viewing. I think that's literally what we're seeing with the movies in the box office at this point. Is after about a solid month or so of being in the box office, they start creeping their way towards the home viewing. Usually around that 45-day mark is about right, and that seems to be where it's hitting, is around that 45-day mark for Mario. So
I like this because I distinctly remember as a kid watching, like, I'll use the Batman movies from the 90s.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll actually narrow it down to use Batman and Robin because I do remember this one specifically. Giving me all the crap you would like for how eager I was to watch Batman and Robin or whatnot. I remember after seeing it in the theater, I was so eager when it came out on VHS that I could watch it at home. And I was just counting down like the days until it was released.
Yeah.
Like getting the Sunday newspaper and looking at the ads in there, waiting to see an ad saying Batman and Robin arrives on home video this week. Yes. I love that we don't have that really anymore. Now it's like, oh, the movie's in the theater. I went to go see it like basically opening night, and 2 weeks later I could watch it again at home. Love it.
I mean, I do want movies to have significant theatrical runs, just because we love the theater going experience, and obviously, it needs to remain intact. And I think a 45-day run is usually pretty good at this point. I think that's plenty of time for everyone who wants to go see it in the theater to really take their time to go see it in the theater. And then, of course, after that, everyone else will be able to quickly get to watch it at home during a time period where that movie is still relevant in the pop culture zeitgeist. So
yeah, like our mom doesn't like to go see the Marvel movies. She doesn't like to go see them the opening weekend. In fact, I still don't think that they've seen it yet. So I think they're going probably closer to this weekend.
Yeah,
the Guardians 3. So
either this weekend or next weekend, probably.
Yeah.
Anyway, number 3 is Evil Dead Rise, which is, in its third week sitting at number 3. Pretty good for a horror franchise.
It's a good movie.
Number 4 is Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Also, the number 4 movie, I like to call myself Margaret sometimes. The number 4 movie is Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret.
Yeah.
Number 5 is a new release, Love Again. I don't know what this is. It's distributed by Screen Gems. I don't know what this movie is, but there you go.
Is that the one that has was it the Jonas brother with his wife?
It looks like it based on the movie poster I'm seeing here.
I forgot her name. She was like the villain in that stupid Baywatch movie.
Yep. Nailed it. Anyway, number 6 is John Wick Chapter 4.
Who cares? We don't need clarification of this.
Look, if you don't have the name right off the top of your head, we're moving on.
Priyanka Chopra.
There you go. Jonas. Yeah, throw the Jonas on there. Jonas is part of it.
Well, I don't know if she actually goes by that.
Yes, she does. Number 7 is Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. Hanging out in the top 10, bumped down from number 6 from last week. So I think that thing's going to hang out for a little while. It's been out for 6 weeks. Pretty good. Number 8, we've got Air. And number 9, staying at number 9 from last week, is The Covenant. Guy Ritchie's The Covenant.
Real quick about Air, I believe that is going to be available for home viewing in 2 days. If you did not see it in the theater, highly recommend it. I think that is currently sitting as my number 1 movie of the year right now. So,
and number 10 is Sisu. Yes, Air is really good. Air is great.
You couldn't just wait one more movie, really? You just couldn't wait one more movie.
Anyway, that's your top 10 in the box office. Doing numbers in the box office, it's a good time. It's a good time. It's definitely a good time.
I'm really sad about Sisu. I wish that did better. It was a really good movie.
Yeah, I heard good things. Speaking of movies that I'm hearing good things about.
I literally go nowhere without them.
Guys, breaking news from 2 days ago. Barbie has been screened to Simu Liu. But it should be noted that he really liked it. He was also paid to be in the movie too. How long has this bit been going for now?
I literally go nowhere without them.
I'm laughing at the fact that the playing the Barbie watch intro beginning and end together combined lasted longer than the actual Barbie watch did.
That's what happens with them Barbie watches sometimes. That information is quick, fast, and to the point. And
it is true. What I said is true, but there's just not a lot to it.
Okay. So, moving on. If Jesse from Flick and Reel is still here, let's talk about our first news story. It has been, I guess, rumored. I don't know if I don't think this has actually been confirmed. I think it's just a very strong rumor that Karl Urban has been approached to play Johnny Cage in the sequel to the last Mortal Kombat movie, to 2021's Mortal Kombat.
Johnny Cage.
So first of all, I'm one of the few people, I guess, that really, I'm kind of very torn about that Mortal Kombat movie. It did what I like. I love the original 95, even though that was PG-13, and what just really needed was all the blood and gore that we had in the video games at the time, which this new movie did. But now we're missing the story. We got the violence, we got the action, but the story was, I feel like, pretty weak because we were following this audience surrogate, Cole, and then there was also no tournament. It was all leading up to the tournament. So I'm not a huge fan of it. Now, granted, the next movie should be getting us into the tournament, and hopefully that eliminates like pretty much all my issues, especially because now Cole is no longer a new character. He'll already be a character within the Mortal Kombat universe by this next movie. So I'm happy for that. Also would be extremely happy if we get more Hiroyuki Sanada, because him in anything and him as Scorpion in the 2021 Mortal Kombat was one of the best parts. Him and Sub-Zero. What's his name that played Sub-Zero? 15 seconds, y'all. Anyways, like, they were the best parts of that movie. But I don't know. I'm really hoping that this next movie really helps sell the Mortal Kombat idea, because that's all it really needs. It's just that little bit. Just clinch that and you'll have a fantastic movie. Now, back to Karl Urban. The thing is Karl Urban is not necessarily like a clean-cut guy or actor for the most part. I really haven't seen him like really anything clean-cut. In fact, the closest was probably him playing Bones McCoy in the Star Trek movies, in which it just seemed a little bit weird. He was great as Bones, but seeing Karl Urban not in a gruff, like, beat him up Billy Butcher type of role, I feel like was a little strange.
I mean, he was pretty clean cut for Scourge.
Somewhat, but he was still like a fighter. He still had that need to fight, sort of, or more of a need to run away and not be a part of it.
I sure hope that Johnny Cage needs to fight.
But I mean, there's the thing, like, Johnny Cage is the type of person that looks like he gets up and he just is glamorizing himself while he's shaving every single morning in the bathroom. When I say clean cut, I mean like actual like clean cut, nice, like pretty boy. Like Garth is saying, Chris Evans should be Johnny Cage. I could see Chris Evans do that because Chris Evans can play that pretty boy That's basically what he did in the Fantastic Four movies as Human Torch. It's what he did in Knives Out. He was that pretty boy. And to some extent, his role as Captain America was also very pretty boy, but he didn't have any problem like actually getting down and dirty and fighting as well. Yeah. Joe Taslim, thank you, Jesse. Yes, that's who I was trying to think of. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about Karl Urban. Again, like in the thumbnail for this, I specifically used the image of Karl Urban as Billy Butcher compared to this clean-cut, cocky look of Johnny Cage. That's the comparison I'm trying to make. I don't see him as the same person.
I do. Shave all the facial hair off and throw some sunglasses on him. You got the same exact image.
Except it's weird for Karl Urban. That's like, for example, and this is a very light example. You shave all the facial hair off of me. I've had a beard pretty much since the beginning of the pandemic. That's when I first decided to commit to growing like full facial hair, and I've had it ever since.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, especially those who have only like started subscribing and following us over the past year, they will have to dive in deep into our library of content that we've made over the years to find images or videos of me without facial hair. And it looks really weird. And I see my face every day, but
this is it. That's it.
Yes.
That's it right there.
Glenn Powell, absolutely 100% perfect. Yeah. So, okay. So, yes. So, at least Jesse's getting what I'm talking about by this. Yes. Like, Glenn Powell is a very clean-cut, good-looking, could Smarty. Be that, like, kind of cocky Hollywood type of actor. Not that he's a cocky Hollywood actor, but he'd be playing a cocky Hollywood actor. Yeah, I think that's a great casting choice right there. I don't know how I feel about Karl Urban, and here's the thing. I really like Karl Urban. He's a fantastic actor. Almost everything I've ever seen him in, I've absolutely loved. So
I will say this, as someone who has not seen the new Mortal Kombat movie, and probably will not watch this one either because I'm not a gore fan, so I will probably be staying away from it. I will say that I can already tell you, though, Karl Urban in this role is going to have a ton of fun. You know, he's going to be having a lot of fun in this role. He's going to be doing some fun stuff. Just like I imagine he has fun on The Boys. Again, a show I don't watch because gore. But I can tell from the clips and stuff I've seen, he has a ton of fun doing that show. So
I like anytime I see a shot or a clip of him in The Boys, he's saying something to someone, especially if he's doing like his like cocky. He's got this like curve to like the upper bit of his cheek when he'll turn around and say something, and he says it very cocky, bad boyish style, and I love it. Like he nails that every time. So yes. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but yeah, I just love how he does that.
I don't nail it.
Anyways, so I don't know if I can't remember if he's actually been officially signed on to play Johnny Cage, but not a huge fan of that.
Jesse said the director confirmed Urban. So
the director, did confirm?
Yep.
Okay.
There you go. Done deal.
Well, we'll see. Hopefully it'll be good. I mean, that would actually technically that puts Karl Urban as probably the biggest name actually attached to the new Mortal Kombat franchise right now, because for the most part, other than like a few people, I didn't really know who anyone was. Like I knew of Joe Taslim, and I knew of Hiroyuki Sanada. Mm-hmm. That's roughly about it. The guy that played Jax, he was in True Blood, and he's been in a couple of things. Makad Brooks. Other than that, I don't think I really knew anyone else. Raiden was what's his face from Thor,
and Cole got obliterated by a helicopter in Deadpool, right?
Yes. Oh, that's right. Yeah. The guy who played Cole was Shatterstar in Deadpool 2. Mm-hmm. Anyways, moving on. So something that I am super excited for. Beetlejuice 2 is finally actually going to happen. Yeah.
Legacy sequels, man. They're all the rage right now.
They are so the rage. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice 2 has been in development hell for like 30 years.
Legacy sequel. So hot right now. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, this movie's been in development hell for 30 years. Like right after that movie came out and they saw how much of a hit it was, they were immediately wanting to have Tim Burton make another one. Tim Burton got blessed with moving on to doing the Batman movies, and then he just went that direction, which I can't blame him for. Batman was a hot property. So, yeah, I love the fact that we're finally getting Beetlejuice 2. Hopefully it's not the Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian that we had heard about for like the past like 20 years or so, that was the supposed sequel. You just recently saw Beetlejuice for like the first time.
When you say recently, let's say
the past year?
Within the past year or two, within like the past 2 years.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was in the past year or so, but I can't remember. Like, you enjoyed the movie.
It's fine.
But how eager would you be for a sequel to it?
I'm not like all out eager. I'll watch it, but I'm not like, ooh, Beetlejuice 2, yes, let's go, finally. I'm just gonna be like, oh, I guess we're watching Beetlejuice 2 tonight. Okay, let's watch it.
So I wonder if that has to do with like not seeing it earlier, like when it came out in the 80s. Although, I mean, here's the thing: I didn't see it when it came out in the 80s either.
I wouldn't have seen it when it came out in the 80s.
Yeah, because you weren't born yet. Yeah, I didn't see it in the theaters. I didn't see it until, I don't know. I think I was actually like an adult and moved out of the house. Like it was after I joined the military, after high school, that I saw it. True. So that means I probably didn't see it till like 2001, roughly around there. And just immediately loved it. So, yeah, I'm a big fan, super hyped for it. Apparently, it's going to be coming out in September of 2024. They have announced that Jenna Ortega is going to be playing the daughter of Lydia Dietz. Lydia Dietz will be played again by Winona Ryder. I think that's the only confirmation they have is Michael Keaton, of course, coming back as Beetlejuice and Winona Ryder as Lydia.
Hey. Jenna Ortega is going to be in this movie, right?
Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah, I know.
I'm so shocked. I'm so shocked they got Jenna Ortega for this movie.
She's so hot right now. Who else did they get confirmed? I could have sworn I read that somewhere else someone else was confirmed for this as well.
Also, it's going to be weird because Michael Keaton's older now. Again, they're going to put him in a ton of makeup, but is Beetlejuice himself going to look older? Does Beetlejuice age?
Yeah.
That's a good question. And do you have to say old Beetlejuice 3 times in order for him to appear?
Oh, Justin Theroux. Apparently Justin Theroux is going to be in it also.
Bad guy. Villain. He's the villain.
Oh, yeah, probably. Well, I mean, technically, supposedly Beetlejuice is the villain, but...
Yeah. He's antagonistic, but Justin Theroux is going to be the greater antagonist.
I wonder if that's going to be kind of like the first Beetlejuice movie. Technically, like the Dietzes were like the villains, and then Beetlejuice was like a side villain, but ended up becoming the main villain. Everyone ended up liking the Dietzes, and everything worked out in the end.
Yes.
So, yeah. Again, super eager for this movie. I don't know. We don't know exactly who Justin Theroux's playing. We know Jenna Ortega's playing Lydia's daughter, which is another like gothic role for her. She just loves like these gothic horror movie aligned adjacent type roles. So James Gunn is trying into the new DC movies Blue Beetlejuice. It's great. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Movies that are supposedly coming out. It was announced that the writer strike, which is still going on. This one I wanted to be careful about because this is kind of going down the path that we were talking about the previous week or so about the writer strike. It's been announced that both the production for Blade and the Community movie, spin-off movie, have both shut down because of the writer strike.
Bummer.
Poor Blade. First of all,
Yeah.
I mean, poor both of these, actually. Both of these are movies that have been struggling to get made lately.
For so long. Yeah.
Like that Community movie.
Community's been doing the 6 seasons in a movie since like the 4th season or something like that. Like they've been talking about that since the 4th season show. And the show's been done for quite some time. So like, yeah, it's been a long time coming for a Community movie to actually get greenlit as well as go into production. So yeah, this is kind of a bummer. It's kind of a bummer to see. Also, you know, Blade's had the director issue, had writing stuff and all that.
Writing issues were the first major thing with it.
Yeah. So it's I think we'll we're gonna get both of these movies. It's just they're just gonna be delayed a little bit now.
Which is fine. I mean, if that's what it takes for the writers to get what they deserve, then absolutely.
I mean, look, there's a reason why the strike is in place. It's because people weren't listening to the people who are trying to speak. So yeah, it's an absolute bummer we don't get these movies. But what the problem with that line of thinking is that, you know, it's focused completely on us, the consumers, and we deserve our movies. And we all know that ain't it, Chief. That ain't it. The key here for me is that I'm hoping stuff like this, like these kinds of like shakeups and whatnot, all this kind of stuff that's happening, pushes studios to actually tune in, listen. All right, let's make a deal now. Come on. Because if your writers don't go back to work, you don't make these movies, and then you don't make money. So, yeah, time to tune in. Time to tune in, listen, and actually strike a deal that's fair for everybody.
Well, also, so piggybacking off of that, specifically with Blade, we've already seen what has happened in a major franchise like the MCU when you start delaying movies. Mm-hmm. Look at what happened during the pandemic. It hurt theater costs. It hurt their business. And if you're going to delay Blade, this is where you're going to end up delaying some other movies that may have like pieces, connections to Blade. I don't know exactly what. I would guess maybe like a sequel to Eternals may be affected by this. But you're going to start affecting all those, and that's just pushing back when the studios actually get that profit off of those movies. So yes, signing the deal now will save you in the long run. And again, this is something that I feel like I didn't go to school for business or anything. Neither one of us are business majors or anything. How are we able to understand this? And seemingly the studios are not, or they do, and they're not mentioning or care.
I have a point.
Okay.
I have a point to that effect. Mm-hmm. And it's something I'm actually kind of worried about. I'm worried about the flexing and the grandstanding that's going to be happening here, because what could happen is that the studios will turn around and look at the writers and be like, listen, if theaters die, it's on your shoulders. You guys want to be the ones out here going on strike and picketing. That's fine. But you're the one that's going to be killing the theater industry. I imagine I could see some suits turning around and saying something like that.
So you're just basically manipulating your audience at that point.
And it's all part of the, we don't want to give into the whole negotiation process or anything. So we're going to say what the rest of us would call something very heinous to say to be able to get their way. And that's called corporate America.
And yeah, okay. So the downside to this is there's definitely going to be some people that are going to call them out for that.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, well, that's not right. If you would just accept their what they were wanting, we could all just move on. Everyone would be happy.
The studio's going to be like, they were getting paid to do their job. They're the ones who are asking for too much more. They're being greedy. The writers being greedy, doing all this. This is what the studios are going to say.
I hate that.
And you know they're going to say that. And you know some people are going to be the voices for the studios in this situation, and they're going to be the ones saying it, and everyone's going to be like, how effing dare you?
Yeah, and that's the other thing I'm worried about is definitely, especially if you're checking Twitter at any time in your life, you will see there's definitely the very strong possibility of people that are going to be siding with the studios in that kind of manipulation tactic. And they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah. Stop asking for money, you greedy writers. You got enough to live off of. Just go make the movies and make everyone happy."
They're gonna be like, "Oh no, I get paid to write movies. Oh, just go back to work. Stop worrying about it. You get paid to do a cushy job." Yeah, there's people who don't understand who are gonna be on Twitter backing corporate studios and stuff, and it's like, y'all need to chill. We need to always be supporting the people who are in there doing the work to get paid to do the work, because it's on the shoulders of writers for any movie to get made ever,
as we previously covered.
And as we are seeing right now, Blade and Community not happening until this strike is over, because the writers aren't going to be writing anything. The production is going to stay dunzo on these movies until the strike is over, and the strike's not going to be over until the writers feel, as a whole, their union feels satisfied with the deal that's being struck. So the sooner the studios actually get on, I don't care what the studio says. I don't care what flexing or grandstanding they take, and you know it's going to happen. The sooner they get on board with this and strike a deal and do something that everyone feel like. I mean, look, we've had a writer's strike before. We've had a writer's strike. It's happened before, and it didn't end until everybody felt satisfied. And it's precedence. It's going to happen again. It's not going to end until everyone feels satisfied. So strike a deal. I mean, look, they could also be working on stuff and we really don't know, because nothing's been reported. So maybe they are working on a deal right now. I don't know, but it is a bummer that we, the consumers, won't get our movies. But at the same time, we're the small cog in this overall wheel, because the whole machine doesn't work if there's no movies at all, So you got to have the writer to write the movie, and the writer's got to be paid a fair salary, and everything on the back end in order for these things to get made. So come on, studios, stop being knuckleheads.
Crazy knucklehead.
Terrible knuckleheads.
It's our Charles Barkley moment there. Anyways, speaking of Charles Barkley, let's talk about the Transformers.
What?
He's a tall robot. I mean, I'm just saying. Didn't he actually voice a Transformer at one point? I could have sworn. I don't know.
Look, in one of the Bay movies, maybe. It's very possible.
Anyway, so it was just reported that the Transformers Rise of the Beasts is clocking in at 117 minutes.
Over 100 minutes. Wait, 117?
Yes.
Wait a minute. 117? That's an hour 57. That's under 2 hours. Is that our first Transformers movie that's under 2 hours?
Ladies and gentlemen, movies under 2 hours are back. Yes.
Specifically, though, the Transformers movies, which we've been so inundated with the Michael Bay Transformers movies that have all been nearly 3 hours long. And gosh, there's only so much you can take of Michael Bay's form of humor in those movies. And good Lord, did they feel super, super long. Look, it's possible for a 3 hour movie to breeze through. In-game, great stuff. Don't feel that runtime.
I am located directly under the robot's scrotum.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, 3 hours of that. No, I'm excited. Listen, that is one of the last pieces of news that I need to hear about this movie to be completely sold. The last trailer was great.
Yeah.
And 117 minutes means a nice, breezy, easy watch in the theater, because it's going to be right at that sweet spot of 2 hours for most movies to hit.
In related news, Fast X is clocking in at over 5 hours long.
So, and that's just the first part.
Yeah.
Fast X Part 2 will be 6 hours long, because they wanted to hit the 11-hour mark for their 11th movie.
Speaking of which, apparently there's been a photo that's been going around on social media of the cast, some of the cast of Fast X posing for pictures with Tom Cruise, leading to rumors that Tom Cruise may be joining Fast 11.
Yes. Go for it.
I mean, here's the thing. I got 2 words for you. Ethan Hunt.
Yes, just tie it in.
What if they were to bring in the Mission Impossible and Fast? I mean, they're both the same, like almost the same kind of a movie. I feel like they cater to the same audience, some kind of like spy, espionage.
It's always some crazy stunt,
action, danger, and stunts all involved in there.
Just do it. Just whatever. Just rip the Band-Aid off.
Are they actually able to do that though? Because Fast and Furious is Universal.
No, because I think Mission Impossible is
Paramount. Yeah, so I don't think that's going to be... I don't think that's something that they could do. But that would be funny if there was like a crossover. Like Fast 11 would be a crossover with the Mission Impossible. And Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2 would be a crossover with the Fast and Furious franchise. That's great.
He's going to come in. And his name's going to be Evan Lunt.
He's going to be Ethan Hunt, but not by that name.
Hi, I'm Evan Lunt. Your last name's Lunt? Just go with it.
They could do something. So, for example, they could potentially do... what was it? Was it... I think it was Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. They are in... Yeah, Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. They have that court case at the very beginning. And their lawyer is Justin Long, who's essentially, he's playing the same character from Zack and Miri Make a Porno. But because Zack and Miri Make a Porno was done by a different studio, they technically could not use his character as Brandon St. Randy in Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. It's still the same character, but they just never actually confirmed that he is Brandon St. Randy.
He just went by the name Randy St. Brandon.
No, he just went by the lawyer. Yeah. But yeah, if they were to do something like that, like they bring Tom Cruise over, obviously he's Ethan Hunt, but he's never acknowledged as Ethan Hunt. Like, what do we call you? You could just call me the agent.
Yeah.
That's it.
I make the impossible happen.
Yeah. So you make impossible things happen. You haven't seen what Dom does when trying to get across a bridge.
He somehow, some way finds a way to snap a vine onto his tire and swing.
Yeah. Either he swings or his car swings. Something is swinging when it comes to Dominic Toretto.
Hi, Dom. I see your family is ready to go on a mission. Well, I do missions all the time. And some might say they're very impossible to do.
That's the Fast X post credits. Garth, the hunter. Yeah.
I'd like to be part of your family.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Anyway, so Transformers is 117 minutes long. So yay! Under 2 hours.
Unlike how much time we spent talking about Mission Impossible during the Transformers news segment.
So moving on. It was also announced Tom Hiddleston and Mark Hamill, which you just put the two of them together in one sentence, and I'm sold.
Yep.
They will be joining Mike Flanagan's The Life of Chuck, which is a story, big shocker, given Mike Flanagan, is based off of a Stephen King story. This is supposed to be, I am not familiar with this story at all, but I'm being told it is more leaning towards Stephen King doing stuff like Stand By Me, which was originally The Body, or Shawshank Redemption. So this isn't so much horror from Stephen King as much as it is probably like a slice of life, a day in the life type of movie.
So a Stephen King adaptation that I would enjoy.
Very, very possible. Mike Flanagan. So I also know, again, you're not a big horror buff. Mike Flanagan has been killing it. Every single thing he does always gets critical acclaim off of it. I think he did The Haunting of Hill House, which it was a TV show. That one did very well. He did, for Stephen King adaptations specifically, he did Gerald's Game, which was really good. It went straight to Netflix, but was still a very good adaptation. And that was a book that most people said was unfilmable. And I understand why. And then he also did the sequel to The Shining. He did Dr. Sleep, which you could actually watch that as well.
Yeah, that's one that I still need to watch now that I've actually seen The Shining.
Yeah, Doctor Sleep. Doctor Sleep. I did not like Doctor Sleep the first time I've watched it, but since I have come around on it, and I think it's a very well made movie. Especially some of the stuff that Mike Flanagan does in that movie is very risky, and he nails the landing on every single risky thing he does in that movie. So, and then he also did another movie I like from him is Hush. It stars his wife, and I'm forgetting her name. I keep wanting to say Jennifer Holland, but that's James Gunn's wife, who pops up in everything that he does now.
Much to the chagrin of some people on Twitter.
Yeah, I love that. I don't know why people were hating that. That was fun.
It's goofy. It's a goofy thing to hate.
But yeah, it was that movie. Hush stars his wife. She's playing a deaf woman that lives in this house like in the middle of nowhere, and she's being attacked by a psychotic killer who learns that she's deaf, so he's just basically toying with her the entire movie until he's ready to kill her.
Hate that.
Yeah, it's a very well made movie, especially because there's really only the two people in it.
That sounds awful.
There's actually maybe 4 or 5 people total in that movie, but it's really just the two of them the entire time, just cat and mouse the whole time, and it's very well made.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am looking forward. You got Tom Hiddleston and Mark Hamill in a movie that's going to be of the same vein as Stand By Me or Shawshank, done by the guy who was just knocking it out of the park with Stephen King adaptations recently. That's very much like Frank Darabont did back in the day with Shawshank and Green Mile and The Mist.
I'm also really liking this resurgence of Mark Hamill lately. I don't know if coming back into Star Wars is really the thing that did it, but I know, he popped up in The Kingsman.
The first Kingsman. Yeah.
First Kingsman movie. He's been in several other things. I mean, obviously we know he's been voicing the Joker for years and years and years in many, many different projects, video games, TV shows, movies, all that kind of stuff. But just seeing him kind of have this resurgence also and be able to get a ton of work since playing Luke Skywalker. I mean, even then he's still doing stuff in the Star Wars universe, lending a hand to bringing Luke Skywalker back to life again. So
yeah, Mandalorian or Book of Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's about to pop up playing Bert Kreischer's father in The Machine.
Yeah.
So
seeing him pop back up and things is great.
Yeah.
I like the combination of him and Tom Hiddleston too, because we know that Tom Hiddleston's just really good. Also, just nailing Loki completely.
Yeah. Anything else I've seen Tom Hiddleston in? Like he was in that Kong Skull Island. He was good in that also.
Yep.
Even though he kind of gave me like the vibe of like Adrian Brody in Predators,
or Adrian Brody in the other King Kong movie. I don't know. I can't.
That's right. Adrian Brody was in that too. Yeah. Anyways, I feel like that's a good solid like group of actors, director, and project that I'm already sold just on that one sentence. Even like the one sentence I have on our show notes here: Hiddleston and Hamill join Flanagan's Life of Chuck. Sold.
I need to find out what that story is about as to determine whether or not I'd be interested in it. I guess maybe I could wait for a trailer, but I could also just look it up on Wikipedia too.
It's a book that's been out for a couple of years. I want to say Stephen King wrote it like right at the beginning of it came out right at the beginning of the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's been out for a while. So yeah, you could definitely find out what it is about.
Hey, it sounds interesting already.
Yeah. Last piece of news, and this has been the big one that's really come out today after I had already decided what the thumbnail was going to be. So this will happen from time to time. I don't have all the time in the world. Disney Plus and Hulu forming one consolidated app by the end of the year in the biggest no doy.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Take.
Yeah. They're going to call it Max.
No.
It's the Max app.
They're going to call it Knee.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. We're doing the same thing that like HBO and Discovery did. They combined the app and they're going to make it just one streaming service. It does sound like, as of right now, the Disney bundle with Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus will still continue to be a thing, probably for like the next year or so, but they are looking at combining them, which is strange because for a while there, it actually looked like that Disney was wanting to get rid of Hulu. Which, in all honesty, I mean, when was the last time you used Hulu? I mean, you watch the show, some of the shows that are on Hulu.
I watch some of the shows. Only Murders in the Building is a really good show. So
you use it more than I do.
Yeah, that's the thing. The other one, there was that Andy Samberg, Kristen Milotti movie that was the Groundhog's Day. That was
Palm
on Hulu.
Springs.
Yeah,
that was good.
That was on Hulu. So like you can pinpoint some stuff on Hulu every now and then. I mean, obviously Hulu is mostly known for being the streaming service you go to when you want to rewatch almost any TV show that's ever, been on in the last, however many years or so. Like if you want to catch up on a regular TV show of some sort, it's usually found on Hulu. I'm curious to see what they do with this. I mean, obviously, yes, not surprising in the least whatsoever when Disney is the majority stakeholder of Hulu. They can pretty much do whatever they want with Hulu. And I think we all knew this. We all knew when they started bundling it with ESPN, Disney Plus, Hulu all together. We knew that, okay, Disney can do pretty much whatever they want with Hulu. What I'm curious about is, did they say anything? I didn't see this. Did they say anything about what they're naming it? I mean, obviously we know they're not going to go the same route as Max because we all know that's a dumb thing to do. They should just call it WB Plus.
No, right now it's really just more of speculation that the industry believes that Disney and Hulu are really going to be consolidating into one app. I don't know if that's actually a 100% for certain either, but it's a very strong likelihood that that's what they're going, given what they're looking at right now with like financial, when they announced their like Q2 financials and stuff, that's what they're leaning towards.
If I were a betting man, I would say that it's just going to be called Disney Plus. They're going to drop the Hulu name.
That seems like that's the bigger name.
Disney, as a name, as a brand, sells. Hulu, while Hulu has been around for years now, in comparison to Disney, what is Hulu? What is a Hulu?
The only thing that would make me question that, again, not actually having a business degree or marketing.
God no.
Plus
Please
plus
no.
D++. No. Not being a business major or anything. Something else that I think that they may be looking at is, for example, Hulu was where that latest Predator movie, Prey, premiered. And if I remember correctly, I believe the Hellraiser remake was also sent directly to Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens when Disney and Hulu consolidate and they still refer to it as Disney Plus? Like, hey, where can I watch that Hellraiser movie? Oh, you can watch it on Disney.
You can watch it on the Plus side of Disney Plus.
Yeah, I'm wondering, the studio is likely to still do something to put a separation between something like horrific, like Hellraiser, and separate it from something family-friendly like Disney that still carries like a very strong family presence.
Yeah, so what they'll do is that in-app they'll separate everything. There will be the Disney Plus, there will be the Hulu, there will be the ESPN, because they're going to do ESPN stuff in there as well. They're just going to bring the whole package into one app pretty much, probably.
But I'm looking at like from the way that the pop culture zeitgeist essentially is going to refer to it. When you have a conversation with a person on the street, hey, where can I watch that Hellraiser movie? You can watch it on Disney. Like, you hear that and you're immediately like, I can watch Hellraiser on Disney?
And I think you're going specifically based off of the idea that it's called Hellraiser, so it's weird. It's just a weird nomenclature, Hellraiser being on Disney.
I'm using it as, it's an extreme example, yes.
Because it's not a surprise anymore for R-rated content to be on Disney Plus, because Logan, Deadpool, like these movies have already been put on to Disney Plus. They made a whole big stink about it when they said like the Netflix Marvel shows are going on Disney Plus. Like all these things are going to be findable on Disney Plus now. Parents, keep that in mind when your kids are scrolling through Disney Plus. They could stumble upon one of these movies or shows that are kind of more R-rated.
But I think that makes sense because they're obviously Marvel properties. People now know Deadpool, Wolverine, Logan are Marvel, so it makes sense for it to be there. There's no tie between specifically Hellraiser and anything else Disney.
So there's another angle to this whole thing, and again, I know this news story just like pretty much hit today, so I haven't really been able to spend time diving into it. The other angle is for the consumer. I think this is a good thing because there's so many streaming services on the market. To have them consolidated to underneath one banner from the companies that own them. It's why I'm okay with Discovery and WB, HBO, all that consolidating to one app. I think that is a good move. I think you need to do that. It's why I'm okay with Hulu and Disney coming together, is because I think if one studio or if one company is running multiple streaming services, it's just too much to ask for consumers, because you got Paramount's got its thing. You've got Universal's got Peacock over here. You've got Netflix is its own thing. You got Apple, Amazon, all these different streamers. And then, of course, you got all the smaller ones that no one ever remembers the names of. There's just so much. There's so many different streaming services and stuff at any given point. It's nice to have some of these be consolidated. The thing that makes that bad,
Scrooge McDuck owns the lament configuration.
Wow. The thing that makes that bad is while it is good for consumers to be able to remember all this stuff, what's bad is that there might be overlapping in certain jobs, and there will potentially be layoffs and people losing their job because of this kind of situation.
Well, that's what happened with HBO Max and Discovery Plus.
So yes, if this does go through as to being a thing, for sure, people will probably be losing their jobs, which is always sad. It's not anything that we, revel in, or we are sitting here going, well, that's unfortunate, but at least we got our Hulu and Disney together. Because, like, in all reality, while it is nicer for the brain to not have to remember all these different streaming services, it doesn't really matter.
So again, the cable company that I used to work for, the cable internet provider, one of the things that they wanted us to do is try to sign customers up. Like if you're just an internet only subscriber, they wanted us to try to pitch to every customer to sign up for TV service. And usually the number one thing I got was, well, no, I don't need cable TV. I already have like all the streaming apps. And the company wanted us to argue that, like, oh yeah, so you're subscribed to Netflix, Hulu, Disney, HBO, Amazon, Apple TV, Shudder, like all these like streaming apps. How much are you spending per month on
Terrible.
that? Over $100?
Terrible, stupid argument.
I could sign you up for cable TV for less than $40 a month.
Stupid argument.
Yeah, and so that me again, Chris, my brother, knows exactly how I am, and I actually brought this up to him. I was like, yeah, but what happens when they like, well, I'm subscribed to Netflix. I'm like, okay, so what do you like to watch on Netflix? Orange is the New Black,
Stranger Things.
You can only watch those on Netflix. How am I going to sign up someone for cable TV if the reason they're subscribed to Netflix is because they want to watch Orange is the New Black and Stranger Things specifically? Oh, well, here's the answer for that. We need you to open up a Google tab and just Google Orange is the New Black and see if there's another show that's like Orange is the New Black on cable TV. Like, for example, here's a TV show on AMC that's all about women in a prison. That should work. That should suffice.
I hate corporate America.
That is stupid fucking logic.
that makes no sense. Hey, don't watch Stranger Things. Just watch The Goonies over and over and over again.
This is something I'm being told in training for that job. And I was like, Y'all are stupid.
They are so behind on the times.
Yeah. Like, y'all are so dumb.
What they should be doing, what the company should be doing, is they should be making partnership deals with these different streaming services in order to get their streaming services linked into their package and create a package deal where you get both the streaming services you want and you get cable as well for this lower price than, this, that, yeah. Duh.
Well, you want to know the fun twist to that is that cable company was actually trying its hand at its own streaming service as well.
That makes sense.
And it didn't work. It lasted for like a year, I think. And then they ended up, all the original programming shows, they just ended up sending out to everyone else. So
in the same vein, I think if the people running Blockbuster were in on it from the beginning, they would have known that Blockbuster itself could have morphed into a streaming service that could have eventually produced its own original content too. The company of Blockbuster could have just completely taken on a completely different looking form of business, much like Netflix did. So
yeah, Blockbuster could have easily morphed into what Netflix ended up doing. Netflix started with that whole DVD rental by mail. Blockbuster started doing that as well, but they were already kind of being dwarfed in that space by Netflix, and it was one of those too little, too late type of things. And then they collapsed, and then Netflix morphed into the streaming service. So, yeah, like Blockbuster easily could have done all of that.
Yeah.
They just didn't pivot right.
Pivot! I keep hearing rumor that Blockbuster's trying to strike a comeback of some sort. So
they are. Now, I don't know when I say that they are, I don't know if I'm actually referring to the original Blockbuster or whoever may have like rights to the Blockbuster name now, because I don't know if it's owned by the same people as who was owning it at the time it filed Chapter 11.
I just don't know how Blockbuster does come back in this day and age. Like, obviously, there's the nostalgia side of, this is a whole separate topic, by the way. There's obviously the nostalgia side of like wandering through the video store and everything, but are they still, I haven't even checked recently, are they still making new Blu-rays and stuff and DVDs and whatnot? I mean, I think DVDs themselves, I think, are done-ish, but like Blu-rays and...
Yeah. The physical media is still a major thing. In fact, there's a bigger push for that more than ever, as like this was something that we were talking about before with like Amazon cutting off, if you bought a digital movie through Amazon, they were cutting off the access to it. Something like that, if I remember correctly. I think it was more of a focus like on some anime cartoon or something.
Right, yeah, like I know industry-wise, inside and everything, there's still a big push for physical media, but like amongst the general crowd, I don't know if like the general crowd would venture out to a video rental store again, if that would be the type of thing that you would see happening.
It would have to be something where it would need to be partnered with something else that they actually have to go out for. For example, grocery stores, which I do remember during the 90s, almost every grocery store had a video rental section attached to it. One of my favorite, fondest memories, again, was a kid while mom and dad are checking out the register. I'm right in front of them at the video place checking out all like the horror movie videos, like back in the 80s when they had like the VHS tapes that had fantastic artwork on them. I'm sitting there amazed by the artwork and reading the back and stuff. Too scared to watch the movie, but I am enthralled by the VHS cassette box art.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, absolutely, that would be a good way to bring it back, because you have to go to the grocery store anyways. Well, no, you don't. There's like Instacart and Favor and grocery delivery services now. So yeah, technically, yeah, we're all screwed. We're going to become like those people in Wall-E. We're just gonna sit on hover chairs and drink our slushies and.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to find something else to tie it next to. I mean, obviously, like with movie theaters nowadays, you have the nice reclining seats, and the movie theaters serve you actual food, not just movie snacks anymore. Like you can order like an actual hamburger or a salad or a steak or something at some kind of movie theater or something out there.
Alcohol.
Yeah, that's a big one. They're merging the idea of restaurant and bar in with the theater. So those dates that used to go on where you would do dinner and a movie, you can do that in one location now.
Which
like
sucks.
that makes sense. You can always go somewhere for dessert if you want to. It makes sense. It makes sense to merge those things together. So what else would you merge with Blockbuster in order to make it make sense? Like you're going to go rent a video. Also keep in mind that you have to bring the video back.
Escort services.
That took a completely different turn.
Make it a Blockbuster night.
Listen, I think you already can do like delivery with Blockbuster. So, I think you could like hire people to deliver the movies you want to your doorstep from Blockbuster. And you might as well be someone, might as well be a streetwalker while you're at it.
God, why that term?
I was trying to find another term, and I don't want to use certain other terms.
I feel like Blockbuster and chill tonight.
Nothing says Blockbuster night like a lady of the street.
Can you bring one of the
night?
Can you bring a brunette with a DiGiorno pizza because it's just like delivery? And I'm feeling. How about My Girl? I haven't seen that in a while.
And then after we're done with that DiGiorno, I'm going to stuff her crust. All right, that's the end of the show. All right, good job, everybody. We got there.
I was actually going to end it on and always remember, please be kind, rewind. Anyways, that is the end of the show, though. So
Disney Plus and Hulu are coming together as one streaming service, guys.
Come together. Anyways, that is going to be it for this show for tonight. So yeah, a lot of little news stories, nothing big, major. There's no major shakeups or whatever in the world of movies.
Yeah.
We don't have anything we're not, as of right now, we're not seeing a movie tomorrow. So you're probably going to stream?
No, I'm going to stream on Friday.
Okay.
Tomorrow I'm going to be busy doing a double feature, watching 2 movies back to back that I will be talking about on a certain podcast, and that announcement will be made later as to whose podcast and what it's all about.
That's
not our podcast.
Yeah. Our podcast should be coming back some point.
At some point.
Yeah. I know that's something I want to push for, but right now I'm actually really enjoying still doing the YouTube shorts. So I like the traffic that we get off of the immediate out of the theater reactions, and then doing maybe a little 1-minute ranking. So yeah, if y'all want to see more of those, let us know. What do y'all want to see us rank? It was a lot of fun. It's real easy to put those together. It's good content. I enjoy getting thoughts, feelings, and opinions out there. So
they're small, easy to produce, really easy to make. They're very super digestible content, and they do numbers, and they send traffic to the channel. So I think it's a no-brainer to focus in on the short game, and maybe even lean towards TikTok at some point.
Rank Sean Chandler's ranking videos.
He's done too many. He's done too many.
That's his bread and butter on his channel. So yeah, I don't have the time for that.
We'll bring him in for an April Fool's marquee next year, and it'll be tier ranking Sean Chandler's ranking videos.
He's gonna put them all S.
It'll be you can only put 2 of them in S tier, Sean. The rest of us can put them wherever we want, but you can only put 2 of them in S tier.
That'll be funny. Anyways, so again, that's going to do it for this episode. Again, if y'all watching live, thank y'all to everyone who is watching live. If you're watching this on a replay, we very much appreciate you coming back and watching us when we're not live. So yeah, thank you for being there. Anyways, make sure you follow us at the Cinefanatics on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me personally at Robert Adams MLP on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, and youtube.com/@RobertAdamsMLP. I am thinking of changing up my channel a little bit again. I know I just did that again, but I got an idea as I'm venturing off into new things personally, and I will let y'all know. So stay tuned if I decide to do something with that.
He's going to go wander into the woods, and he's going to set up a camera, and it's going to live stream him 24/7 while he's trying to live as the actual Revenant.
I hate camping, so no, that's not happening.
Oh no, you're going to be in an RV in the woods, but
I'm just going to take a house out there with me.
You're going to have all the luxuries of civilization, but it's just going to be in the woods.
Yeah. So I'll still have like all the delivery services and everything come out to me still.
And notating where we are at around the Austin area, the woods are like half a step away from a major road of some sort. So,
probably. So I'm going to be making it a blockbuster night a lot.
Real interesting direction this channel is going. You can follow me at Chris Adams MLP on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, as well as twitch.tv/Chris Adams MLP, where I'm not really changing much right now. We're staying steady. I've already done some changes.
Yeah. Anyways, so again, those of y'all watching, make sure you drop us a like and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts on what we were talking about down in the comments. Again, while you're down there, do the liking and subscribing and all the YouTube things. That is going to do it for tonight. Again, thank y'all for watching. We will see y'all later. Everyone have a great evening. Goodbye.